Have you ever poured your heart into a message only to be met with silence? You type, you erase, you type again, waiting, hoping for a response. But nothing. That silence, like an invisible wall, presses down on your mind. It feels like you're shouting into the void, surrounded by people who don't hear you. And that feeling, it's no different than pain. You start to wonder, did I do something wrong? Am I not good enough? Should I try harder? But here's the truth. The more you chase, the further you drift away. And eventually, you realize something painful. Begging for attention only chips away at your dignity, piece by piece. So why do we do this? Why do we feel the need to fix the silence? You're here because you're tired. You feel invisible. You don't want to be an afterthought in someone else's mind. And yet, most people approach this from a place of desperation, thinking they need to explain, justify, or even apologize for their presence. But Stoicism teaches us a powerful truth. Control what you can, let go of what you can't. You can't force someone to respond, but you can control how you react to their indifference. Today, I'm sharing 6 simple yet powerful strategies that will change the way you handle silence forever. These aren't tricks, they're tools rooted in psychology to help you build self-esteem, strengthen emotional intelligence, and reclaim your power. When you apply them, something incredible happens. The silence, it stops hurting, and instead of you chasing, others will start craving your presence. Each step on this journey will remind you of your worth. It will transform how you communicate and send a clear message. Your attention is a privilege, not a given. And I promise you this, once you master these techniques, you will stop begging for attention and start earning respect without saying a word. No more power struggles, no more over-explaining. From now on, we let them wonder, them reach out, them feel the absence of our presence. Because the real key, showing up as the strongest version of yourself, confident, grounded, unforgettable. Before we dive in, I have one small request. If you believe in this Stoic philosophy, help me spread it. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And if this message resonates with you, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, drop a 2 so I know how to improve. Now let me ask you, are you ready to stop chasing and start attracting? If so, keep watching, because what I share next will change how you deal with silence forever. Let's begin. Strategy number 1. Silence, the strongest response you can offer. Have you ever noticed that sometimes silence speaks louder than words? When someone ignores you, your instinct might be to send another message, to demand an explanation, to prove that you still deserve their attention. But here's the paradox. The more you chase, the more you teach them to devalue you. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips through your fingers. The same goes for attention. The harder you try to hold on, the less valuable it becomes. So what happens if you stop trying? What if you simply let go? That's where true power lies. When someone ignores you, they expect a reaction. They expect another message, an apology, maybe even an emotional outburst. They want you to fill the silence, to reassure them of your care. But what if you don't? What if you respond with calm, purposeful silence? That will surprise them. The space you leave behind is powerful, a reminder that your silence isn't weakness, it's not passivity. It's a deliberate action, rooted in self-respect. The Stoics understood this well. Never lose your sense of self-worth over someone else's silence. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. When they retreat, don't chase them. Retreat calmly and confidently. And when you do this, Not only do you maintain your dignity, but you also remind them, your presence is not a given, it's a privilege. So let me ask you, if someone constantly dismisses you, do they really deserve your energy? If their attention can disappear so easily, should you be fighting to get it back? Silence is the answer. When you remain silent, you don't need to argue. You don't need to explain. You don't need to justify anything. You simply disappear and let them ask themselves, what happened? Why aren't they reaching out? Have I lost them? This is the psychology behind this strategy. People often don't realize the value of something until it's gone. By removing your presence, your messages, your warmth, your effort, you create a void they can't ignore. It's like turning off the lights in a dark room. The absence of light becomes unbearable. Suddenly they start to remember what they once took for granted. But here's the key. Your silence isn't a manipulation tactic. It's a reflection of your boundaries. You're not silent because you want them to chase you. You're silent because you refuse to beg for attention that isn't freely given. Your silence sends a powerful message. I respect myself enough to distance myself from what doesn't serve me. Think of it this way. If you keep pouring energy into someone who doesn't value it, you're like a cracked vase, always trying to hold water. But no matter how much you pour, it always leaks out, until you're empty. But when you stop pouring, the emptiness becomes undeniable. And sometimes, that's the wake-up call they need. You might think, but won't silence make me seem cold, harsh, rude? Number silence isn't cruelty, it's clarity. You're not ignoring them. You're not playing games. You're simply matching their energy. If they retreat, you retreat. If they stop responding, you stop asking. Your actions, or lack thereof, reflect their behavior back to them like a mirror. So don't fear silence. That's your power. And here's what happens over time. They'll notice your absence. They'll realize, wait, they didn't double text. They didn't check in. They didn't beg for a response. And when that realization hits, the pain of your silence will be far greater than anything you could have said. They'll ask themselves, what did I do wrong? Why aren't they reaching out? Have I lost them? And that is the power of silent pain. It protects your dignity. It keeps your self-respect intact, because you don't need to degrade yourself by chasing someone who won't respond. Instead, you're showing them, without saying a word, that your presence is a privilege, and that's silent confidence. It's magnetic. But here's the real test. You must be willing to accept their silence as an answer. If they don't notice your absence, if they don't come back, that's your answer. That's your signal to keep moving forward. Stoicism teaches us this. You can't force someone to see your value, but you can choose to honor yourself by walking away. Let me leave you with this thought. What's stronger than begging for attention? Letting go and allowing your absence to remind them of your worth. Because silence isn't emptiness. It's full of answers. It forces them to face the reality of their actions and the consequences of ignoring you. So I challenge you, the next time someone ignores you, don't chase, don't explain, don't beg. Let your silence speak for you, because sometimes the boldest statement you can make is saying nothing at all. If this resonates with you, drop a "Silence speaks volumes" in the comments. Let's reclaim our power. Let's remind the world, our worth does not depend on someone else's response. Strategy number 2, the breadcrumb. Spark curiosity, not desperation. Picture this. You send a thoughtful, intentional message, one that carries meaning. You wait, expecting a reply, but instead, silence. Your instinct might be to send another message, to explain yourself, to prove your worth. But before you do, stop. Ask yourself, why do I feel the need to chase after this? What am I really trying to achieve when someone has already chosen not to respond? Here's the hard truth. Desperation is unappealing. When you over-explain, send long, emotional messages, it doesn't inspire anyone. It doesn't make them respect you. Instead, it makes you appear predictable, needy, and easy to dismiss. But Stoicism teaches us something powerful. Act with restraint. Move with purpose. When faced with silence, you shouldn't respond with chaos. Instead, stay calm. This is where the breadcrumb strategy comes in. It's subtle, intentional, and incredibly effective. Instead of pouring your emotions into their inbox, you leave a breadcrumb, a tiny, intriguing message that sparks curiosity. The breadcrumb doesn't demand attention. It invites it. It makes them wonder. It lingers in their thoughts. And most importantly, it flips the power dynamic. Curiosity, the most powerful emotional hook. Let me ask you, have you ever read a book so gripping, so intriguing, that you couldn't stop turning the pages? Why? Because you had to know what happened next. That's the psychological pull you create when you use the breadcrumb strategy in your messages. How it works. Instead of sending a desperate message like, "Why haven't you replied? Do you miss me? I was thinking about you," you send something vague yet intriguing. "It's been an interesting time." What happens next? That simple phrase creates an open-ended mystery. Their mind instantly asks, why was it interesting? What happened? Was it good? Was it bad? Now they're thinking about you, and suddenly the energy has shifted. You're no longer the one chasing them. Now they're curious about you. Other breadcrumb examples. I saw something today that reminded me of you, but it's hard to explain. What does this do? It plants a seed in their mind. They start wondering, what did they see? Why did it remind them of me? What does this mean? I just realized something about you today. Again, it's brief, it's simple, and it doesn't give everything away. It's that ambiguity that makes it so powerful, because you're not demanding their attention. You're making them want to give it to you. The psychology behind it. The breadcrumb works because it taps into a fundamental part of human nature, the need for closure. When someone leaves a sentence unfinished, when they hint at something without explaining, our minds crave resolution. And by leaving breadcrumbs, you're creating a small yet irresistible void, pulling them back to you. But here's the key. Restraint is everything. The breadcrumb only works if you hold back the urge to explain yourself. If they respond with, "What did you realize? What made you think of me?" only then do you answer, briefly, lightly, keeping the intrigue alive. Because the moment you over-explain, the mystery disappears. Confidence is magnetic. Stoicism teaches us, control starts within. You can't control how others respond, but you can control what you send out. When you show restraint, confidence, and emotional intelligence, you prove you are someone worth being curious about. You're not begging for attention. You're creating intrigue. Think of it like fishing. If you throw a net into the water and pull aggressively, the fish swim away. But if you simply place a hook in the right spot, the fish come to you willingly. That's the nature of the breadcrumb. Subtle, patient, irresistible. The shift in power. Now, ask yourself, what's more powerful, begging for a response, or making them wonder what you're up to? The answer is clear. When you drop breadcrumbs, you're not just leaving a trail. You're showing them, I'm still here, but I'm not chasing you. That quiet confidence, it's magnetic. But here's the truth. Dropping breadcrumbs is not a manipulation tactic. It's not a game. It's not a trick to force someone to respond. It's about creating natural attraction and resetting the respect they may have forgotten to show you. Because when you send a breadcrumb, you're saying, my presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. And this doesn't just shift their perception, it shifts yours. It reminds you that you don't have to prove your worth to anyone. Your words, when used wisely, are enough. And silence, paired with the right message, it speaks volumes. Your challenge. So here's what I want you to do. The next time someone ignores you, don't send a long emotional message. Don't beg for their attention. Instead, drop a breadcrumb. Make it brief, subtle, and intriguing. Then, wait. If they don't respond, you've lost nothing. You've only reinforced your self-respect. And if they do reply, you'll know it's because you piqued their curiosity, not because you begged for their attention. Are you ready? If this strategy resonates with you, I want you to act right now. Like this video and comment below with the word ready. Let me know. Are you ready to stop chasing and start using your words with precision and power? And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because this is just the beginning. Final thought. When you know your worth, you don't have to beg for attention. You become someone no one can ignore. Strategy number 3. The carpet puller. Become unpredictable. Let me ask you something. What happens when you're ignored for long enough? Do you start sounding predictable? Do you catch yourself sending the same follow-up message only to get the same indifference in return? If so, here's the harsh truth. Predictability kills attraction. When you're too easy to read, you create no reason for someone to wonder about you, to think about you, to feel drawn back in. Think about it. Why do we love plot twists in movies? Why do we lean forward when something unexpected happens? Because unpredictability wakes us up. It pulls us out of autopilot. It forces us to pay attention. And the same principle applies when someone ignores you. If they think they know exactly what you'll say next, flip the script. The power of pulling the rug. I call this the carpet puller strategy. It's about making them stop, rethink, and question everything they assumed about you. But let me be clear, this is not about being rude. This is not about being manipulative. It's about breaking the cycle. It's about showing them, without saying much, that you are not someone they can take for granted. Here's how you do it. 1. The unexpected curveball. Instead of chasing, say something completely unexpected. For example, you know what? It's okay. Just 4 words, but they work like magic. Why? Because it breaks their expectations. Suddenly they're not thinking, oh, they're upset I ignored them. Instead, they're thinking, wait, what do they mean it's okay? What changed? Did I miss something? You've shifted the momentum. Now they're the ones wondering about you. 2. The mystery line. Here's another powerful one. Wow, didn't expect that from you. It's vague, it's intriguing, and it doesn't explain itself. What happens next? They start asking themselves, what did I do? What are they talking about? Did I mess up? And suddenly, they feel the need to respond. You've planted a question that only you can answer. 3. The fear of replacement. Want to trigger the fear of being replaced? Try this. I guess I'll have to find someone else for this idea. It'd be a shame if you were perfect. This taps into something deep in human psychology. Nobody wants to feel left behind. Nobody wants to feel like they're being replaced. It's light-hearted, even playful, but it carries a sharp edge, because suddenly they're not ignoring you. They're wondering, wait, find someone else? For what? What did I miss? You've snapped them out of autopilot, and now the energy has shifted in your favor. Why this works? This isn't about begging. It's not about playing mind games. It's about confidence. You're showing them that you're not predictable. You're proving that your worth isn't tied to their response. And that energy, that's what makes people sit up and pay attention. Timing is everything. But here's the key. Do not send these messages immediately. Give it time. Let them notice your absence first. Because when you send an unexpected, bold message after they've had time to assume you'd wait, it lands with 10 times more impact. It makes them reassess their entire perception of you. Stoicism and strategic action. Stoicism teaches us something powerful. Don't react emotionally. Don't send messages out of frustration. Move with precision, confidence, and purpose. Because when you pull the rug, it's not out of anger. It's a reminder. You are not someone they can overlook. Becoming someone they can't ignore. This strategy forces them to see you differently. Maybe they assumed you'd always be there, always chasing, always predictable. But when you send a message that flips their expectations, you show them strength. You show them confidence. You show them you're not afraid to walk away. And that's magnetic. The power of surprise. Now imagine this. Someone is watching a movie they think they know inside out. Every twist, every turn, every ending. Then, boom! A surprise they never saw coming. Suddenly, they're leaning in, paying more attention, and wondering what's going to happen next. That's the effect you create when you pull the rug. And this isn't about being petty. This is about reclaiming your power. You're saying, I'm not here to chase you. I'm here to remind you that I am someone worth noticing. Your challenge. So, I challenge you. The next time someone ignores you, do not send the predictable follow-up. Do not over-explain yourself. Instead, try one of these powerful, vague, and unexpected lines. You know what? Whatever. Wow, didn't see that from you. Guess I'll have to find someone else for this idea. Then, say nothing else. Let them wonder. Let their curiosity pull them back to you. And if they still don't respond, that's where Stoicism comes in. You don't let their silence shake you. You don't let someone else's indifference define your worth. Because you've already proven your confidence. You've already shown your unpredictability. And that's enough. Are you ready to flip the script? If this message resonated with you, I want you to act now. Like this video. Comment, "I'm ready," below. Let me know, are you ready to embrace the unpredictable and reclaim your power? And if you haven't already, hit subscribe. Because this is just the beginning. Final thought. The most magnetic people are the ones who can't be predicted. They're confident, they're surprising, and when you start pulling the rug, that's when you become someone they can't ignore, someone they can't stop thinking about. And trust me, this is just the beginning, so don't go anywhere. There's so much more to come. Strategy number 4, when they can't escape the hook stuck in their mind. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a song stuck in your head? You hear it once, just a few notes, and suddenly it's on repeat. No matter how hard you try to ignore it, it keeps playing over and over. That's the power of a hook. Something simple, memorable, and impossible to shake off. Now, what if your words could do the same? What if a message you send lingers in their mind? What if it keeps replaying again and again, long after they've read it? The problem. Why your messages get ignored. The truth is, when someone ignores you, it's not always because they're busy or uninterested. Sometimes, your message simply didn't leave an impression. It didn't stand out. It didn't spark curiosity. It didn't make them feel like they needed to respond. And that's where the hook comes in. What is a hook? A hook is a message that grabs their attention, creates curiosity, lingers in their mind, making them feel compelled to reply. But here's the secret. It's not about needing or demanding their attention. It's about communicating with purpose. Stoicism teaches us this. Act with restraint. Move with intent. Instead of sending desperate, pointless follow-ups, you'll send just the right words to make them stop, think, and feel drawn back to you. How to send a hook they can't ignore. Let me show you how this works. Imagine you send this. I just realized something about you and it's blowing my mind. Read that again. What does this message do? It plants a seed. It's vague, yet personal. It's intriguing, yet confident. And instantly their mind starts racing. Wait, what did they realize? Is it good? Is it bad? What do they think of me? They won't be able to shake it off. Because now, they need to clarify it. Or try this one. I can't believe I never noticed this about you before. This works just as well. Why? Because it triggers the same curiosity loop. What did they notice? Was it something important? Why didn't I see this before? Again, it's simple, it's short, but it carries emotional weight. Why this works? The psychology of curiosity. The hook works because it taps into a fundamental human trait. We are wired for curiosity. When something is left unresolved, our mind protests. It demands closure. It's like starting a story but never finishing it. We feel compelled to figure out the missing pieces. That's why this method is so powerful, because instead of chasing them, you make them chase the answer. Personalizing the hook for maximum impact. Want to take it a step further? Make it personal. If they're passionate about art, try this. I just saw a painting that reminded me of something you once said. It's crazy how spot on you were. This message works on multiple levels. It connects with their interests. It subtly complements them. It creates an unresolved thought they need to address. They'll be wondering, what's this painting? What did I say? How was I so right? Suddenly, your message isn't just text. It's a puzzle. And everyone loves solving a puzzle, especially when it's about them. The secret to mastering this strategy. Here's the real key: confidence. Confidence means you don't chase, you don't over-explain, you don't worry about waiting, you just drop the hook and let it do the work. Because whether they reply in 5 minutes or 5 hours, you'll know that your words are still lingering in their mind, like a song they can't stop humming. Would you rather? Now let me ask you, would you rather send a desperate, ignored message, or one single line that makes them think about you for hours, That's the power of a hook, because when you use this method, your words don't just get read, they get felt, they get remembered, and they get answered. Your challenge: try this today. So here's what I want you to do. The next time you're about to send a follow-up, stop. Instead, craft a hook. Make it short. Make it personal. Make it spark curiosity. Then, wait. Don't explain. Don't chase. Just trust that your words are enough. And if they still don't respond, that's where Stoicism comes in. Because your worth is not defined by their reaction, but their reaction will be influenced by your confidence. Final thought: why this strategy changes everything. People will always remember how you made them feel, and a great hook makes them feel attractive, makes them feel special, makes them feel curious. And that energy, it turns back toward you, making them wonder, why did I let this person fade into the background? Are you ready to master this? If this strategy resonates with you, I want you to take action now. Hit that like button. Leave a comment with "I'm ready" below. Let me know, are you ready to create messages they can't ignore? And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because this is just the beginning. The truth is, once you master the art of getting attention, you'll never have to beg for it again. Your words will linger, your presence will stand out, and they'll be the ones chasing after you. It's time to stop feeling invisible and start becoming the person they can't ignore. Strategy number 5. The key to confidence, calmness, and overcoming desperation. Let me ask you something. Do you overthink when someone ignores you? How many times have you felt the urge to send another message, to explain yourself, to do anything just to get their attention? Here's the truth. Desperation whispers louder than you think. When you chase after someone, you're surrendering your power. You're no longer the confident, steady version of yourself. Instead, you become someone waiting for scraps of attention, for a reply that may never come. But what if, instead of reacting emotionally, you could play it cool? You could change your energy completely. The truth about playing it cool. Playing it cool isn't about pretending not to care. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you don't need anyone else to validate it. Stoicism teaches us this. You can't control how others behave, but you can control how you respond. And when you respond with confidence and calmness, rather than panic, you send a clear message. I value myself enough not to beg for your attention. How to flip the script with confidence. Imagine this scenario. You've sent a message. Hours, maybe even days go by. No response. Most people, they'd send a follow-up like, "Hey, did you see my message? Oh no, are you mad at me?" But you do the opposite. Instead, you send this. "I thought you'd be busy, so I'll catch up with you later." What happens now? You acknowledge the situation without bitterness. You stay calm, unbothered, and confident. You signal that their silence doesn't shake you. In fact, you've moved on with your day. And that kind of confidence? It's attractive, because suddenly they're wondering, wait, why didn't they chase after me? Why are they so calm about this? Did I miss something? Another power move, the "I can wait" line. Try this one. "I have something interesting to share with you, but it can wait." Notice what happens here. You're not begging. You're not apologizing. You're subtly implying that you bring something valuable to the table. And now, instead of you waiting on them, they're the ones wondering what they're missing out on. You've flipped the script. Now they're the ones feeling left out. The power of emotional stability. Let me pause and ask you, how would your life change if you stopped chasing this feeling? What if, instead of seeking approval, instead of proving your worth, you simply showed it? When you respond with calmness, confidence, and control, you step into the best version of yourself. The version that doesn't seek validation because it doesn't need to. Because the truth is, people are drawn to emotional stability. Desperation repels, confidence attracts. Mirroring, matching their energy with grace. Playing it cool also means mirroring their energy without resentment. If they take hours to respond, you don't reply within seconds, not to be petty, not to punish them, but because you have a full life. You're not sitting around waiting for their attention. That kind of energy is rare. That kind of confidence is magnetic. Think of it like an auction. Imagine you're at an auction. The more desperate someone is to win, the higher the price. But when you act cool, calm, and slightly detached, you convey your value without saying a word. You're not begging to be chosen. You're not desperate for approval. You let your confidence speak for itself. The hard truth: you can't beg for respect. Let me ask you, how many times have you lowered your standards just to keep someone's attention? How many times have you sent a message out of fear they'd forget about you? Here's the truth: you can't beg someone to respect you, because the more you chase, the more you confirm their indifference. But when you remain calm, you communicate something far more powerful. I'm not here to convince you of my value. If you don't see it, that's your loss. And that's emotional maturity. Your next move, the confidence test. The next time someone ignores you, don't overthink, don't react emotionally. Instead, try this. 1. Take a deep breath. 2. Remind yourself, their silence doesn't define me. 3. Send this message: no worries, I'll catch up with you later. Short, confident, no explanation, no seeking approval. And then, walk away with grace, because that says more than any long message ever could. Are you ready to step into your power? If this message resonates with you, I want you to act right now. Like this video. Comment, "I'm ready" below. Let me know, are you ready to stop chasing and start moving with confidence? And if you haven't already, hit subscribe. Because the next strategies, they will completely change the way you approach conversations. Final thought: the truth about confidence. Staying calm doesn't mean you care less. It means you value yourself more. And when you truly value yourself, you don't have to demand attention. Your confidence makes you impossible to overlook. So keep your energy steady, keep your words calm, and make your worth non-negotiable. We're not done yet. The next step is even more powerful, and trust me, you're going to want to hear it. Final strategy: the spark of nostalgia, when the past meets the present. Have you ever felt that sudden warm wave of emotion? When an old song plays, when a familiar scent drifts through the air, when you stumble upon a photo from years ago. For a moment, you're there again. A time when everything felt simpler, closer, more vivid. That's the power of nostalgia. It bypasses logic and speaks straight to the heart. It awakens feelings you didn't even know were still there. Now, what if you could use that power? What if, instead of chasing after someone who's become distant, you could simply remind them of what you once shared? Because here's the truth. People don't forget their connections. They just forget how they felt about them. And nostalgia? It reawakens that feeling, gently pulling them back. It's not about begging for attention. It's not about chasing after them. It's about bringing them back to a moment where you mattered, a memory, a feeling, a connection they can't deny. How to use nostalgia to reignite a connection. Instead of sending messages like, "Why haven't you replied? Is everything okay?" Try this instead. "I just remembered that time we got completely lost and found that little coffee shop, still one of the best days." What happens now? They're not just reading your message. They're reliving the moment. Maybe they can still taste the coffee. Maybe they hear the laughter. Maybe they feel that same warmth all over again. Nostalgia doesn't confront. It invites. It doesn't say, "Why aren't you talking to me?" It says, "Remember when things were good." Why nostalgia works so powerfully. Another example. "I saw something today that reminded me of you. It took me back to that funny thing you said at that party. I still can't stop laughing." Why does this work? Because it's personal. It's specific. It's effortless. It reminds them that between you and them, there was joy. There were real moments. There was something worth remembering. Think about it. When was the last time a memory made you smile? When was the last time someone mentioned something about you, and it made you feel seen, appreciated, remembered? That's what nostalgia does. It doesn't push them away. It pulls them closer. It reopens the door, gently, effortlessly, powerfully. The Stoic mindset. What if they don't respond? You might be thinking, what if they don't respond? What if that memory doesn't matter to them? This is where Stoicism comes in. Because when you send a nostalgic message, you're not trying to control their response. You're not forcing them to engage. You're simply saying, "I remember this, it mattered to me." And if it mattered to them too, they'll respond. If not, you walk away knowing you stayed true to yourself, calm, confident, and kind. The deepest power of nostalgia. When you bring up a shared experience, you're not just reminding them of a moment, you're reminding them of a feeling. Maybe it was joy, laughter, excitement, comfort, whatever it was. Nostalgia awakens it. It brings them back to you in the most natural, unforced way. The bonus layer. Nostalgia plus appreciation. Now imagine sending this. "I just remembered how calm you were during that crazy time at the office. I've always admired that about you." This isn't just nostalgia, it's appreciation. You're not just reminding them of you, you're reminding them of the best version of themselves. And that's powerful, because people often forget their own strengths. Until someone brings them back into their life. Let's be clear, this is not manipulation. This isn't about tricking someone into caring. Stoicism teaches us this. Act with integrity. Say what's meaningful. Let go of what you can't control. Sending a nostalgic message isn't about making them feel something. It's simply offering a moment of connection and letting them decide. This was real. I haven't forgotten. Maybe you haven't either. Your challenge: try this instead of reacting emotionally. Next time you feel the urge to send a frustrated message, pause. Don't react emotionally. Instead, reflect. What moment connected you to this person? What memory feels warm, light, effortless? Then, Send a message that invites them to remember it too. Keep it short. Keep it genuine. Expect nothing. And that's confidence. That's emotional strength. That's moving with purpose, not desperation. Final thought. The gift of nostalgia. Ask yourself, how many moments have you forgotten? How many times has someone mentioned something about you, and it made you feel seen, valued, appreciated? That's what nostalgia is. A gift. When you give that gift, you're showing them you're thoughtful. You're showing them you're secure in who you are. You're showing them, without begging, that your connection was real. You're simply holding up a mirror and asking, do you remember? Are you ready to stop chasing and start creating real connections? If this message resonates with you, hit that like button. Comment, I'm ready below. Let me know, are you ready to stop chasing and start creating real moments of connection? And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, because the next strategies, they will change how you approach conversations forever. Final truth. Nostalgia is timeless. When you learn how to invoke it with confidence, you won't feel invisible anymore. You'll remind them why you were unforgettable in the first place. My personal perspective is that confidence and self-respect, they aren't just external qualities, they're a way of life, a solid, unshakable principle that allows us to define our own value, without relying on criticism or approval from others, because when we truly respect ourselves, when we understand our worth, when we refuse to settle for disrespect or indifference, we no longer have to chase attention. We no longer have to prove ourselves. Instead, we naturally create an attraction that is powerful, effortless, a presence that commands respect without seeking it. The Stoic mindset: control what you can. In the spirit of Stoicism, there's one simple truth. The only thing we can control is our response to the world around us. So instead of chasing validation, instead of seeking attention, we focus on maintaining inner peace. We live by our own principles, because when we stand firm, when we are unshaken by opinions or outside noise, confidence becomes our silent power. Respect follows without us ever having to ask for it. A way of life, not just a mindset. This isn't just about attitude. This is a way of living, a way that anyone can adopt, to build a life of strength, self-worth, and natural magnetism. A life where we don't beg to be seen. We simply are seen. We've come so far together, unpacking 6 powerful strategies to ensure you're never overlooked again. We've seen how silence can speak louder than words, how subtlety can spark curiosity, and how calm confidence can shift the entire dynamic. Each step has brought you closer to reclaiming your power and redefining the way you connect with others. But let me remind you of this. You don't need to beg for attention to prove your worth. You don't have to chase after those who've forgotten your value. You are not here to plead. You are here to show up with confidence, with clarity, with an unshakable inner strength. So when someone ignores you, you now have a choice. You can react in desperation, or you can respond with quiet certainty. You can let their silence shake you, or you can let it remind you of your own worth. You can walk away knowing you stood firm, acted intentionally, and remained true to yourself. That is self-respect. As Stoicism teaches us, we can't control others' actions, only our own reactions. These strategies aren't about forcing someone to care. They're about showing that you are someone who cannot be ignored. You don't need to drop breadcrumbs. You don't need to play games. Instead, You can use nostalgia to rekindle connections and exude the kind of confidence that makes people take notice. And that sends a powerful message. I know my worth, and I will not settle for anything less. So here's my final thought for you. The right people will feel your absence. They will notice when you stop chasing. And those who don't, they were never worthy of your presence to begin with. So tell me, are you ready to stop begging for attention and start commanding it? Are you ready to step fully into the version of yourself who knows they are enough? If so, take action. Show it. Drop a comment below with the word ready. Let this be the moment you claim your power. And always remember, your presence is not a given, it's a privilege. The moment you truly believe that, others will too. So stop chasing, start attracting, and watch as the right people lean in to meet you where you stand. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. I believe in you. I believe in the power of your thoughts, your actions, and your presence. Now it's time for you to believe in yourself, because you are fully capable of achieving greatness. Let's rise together. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, so we can keep exploring strategies that help you master confidence, build meaningful connections, and grow into your best self. If you haven't subscribed to Stoic Station yet, do it now, so you never miss out on the tools you need for your transformation. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay strong, stay confident, and remember this: the silence you choose today will pave the way for respect tomorrow.